Hi everyone, welcome to ICT Profit tutorial. Today we will talk about predefined functions Cmath, and we will do some exercises about it. Before we start doing exercises about Cmath, I would like to explain you what is the function. So I think you'll know the function from the math. When you look at this one, you see fxy. The function always defined like this. And x and y takes the place in the equation. Let's say if somebody asks what is the equivalent of f1 and 2, and you're gonna place this 1 for the x and the 2 takes the place of the y, and then after that you make your equation and it tells you the result, and the result becomes 8 for the first equation. When we look at another function, the another function shows us the power. So the fxy, x to the power of y. So the x stands for the base, y stands for the power, and 2 to the power of 3 will be equal to 8. When we look at the functions from programming languages, we can see this diagram, and this is going to explain us how does it work in programming languages. And this is the main part. All the programs flow to down, and in the main part you can see a shortcut of a function. So let's say you write the equation of your function. Let's say this one 2x squared plus 3y, and you can call this function through your main program, and you're gonna save a lot of code lines, and you can also use these functions again and again inside your program. As I said in the beginning of the tutorial, we're gonna talk about Cmf Library, and the Cmf Library contains plenty of different math functions. Here are some of them. Example, the function abs stands for absolute. When you write cout abs -5 and it returns you positive. So if the value is positive, it will return positive though. And when we look at the ceiling function, the ceiling returns the smallest integer bigger than x. Let's say if it's 15.8 and it's going to return you 16. When you ask the same thing for the floor, and it's going to return you for the 16.3, it's going to return you 16. So it returns the biggest integer less than x. Okay, here there are some most used equations I would like to show you. Power, it's going to return you x to the power of y. Let's say you write here 10, 3 tells you the result of 10 to the power of 3, and when we look at the square root, and it tells you the result of the square root. Now we can start practicing with Cmf Library. First we have to write the Cmf Library on the mouse tab, and we're gonna put this symbol and write there include, and then the corner brackets, and write there Cmf. That's it. Our system also recognized it. And now we're gonna introduce two variables that we're gonna need two variables. And the cin, I'll write there a and b to input. And after that I will start practicing with these things. Firstly, I'd like to practice about abs. Let's say cout abs. You know, abs stands for absolute, and I'm going to, you can press also tab, it's going to print all the text on the screen automatically. And now it's a request a value. I'm going to write there a, and I'd like to put there space, and I'd like to also do another one, abs b. Okay, so let's run the program from here, and now I'm going to write here two numbers. One is negative 4 and positive 5. And now as you see, the negative number turned to positive, and the positive stays already positive. Actually, I love these functions because it turns all the negativity into positivity. So That's what we need for in the life. So when you have some negative things, always the problems, chasing you, but you can deal with them, and then you can turn them into positive things. Okay, we'll try another one. We will see the sailing. Sail, and I'll do this on the floor. Okay, but for that reason I'm going to use fraction numbers, because we're gonna try the numbers with decimals. Float. I will try float, and I'll run this program. I'm going to write two different numbers. One is 5.4 space. Another value will be 10.9. So as you see that the sailing, actually you can understand the difference between them. The sailing, which means the top, so you're gonna give it the next integer value. So it was 5.4 and it will be turned to 6. And the floor means the button, and you're gonna get the minimum integer point from this. So the number will be 10. Alright, let's try another two. This time I'm going to write power and square root. I'm going to write here pow. Pow stands for power, and for that thing you're gonna need two variables. One is, the first one stands for the base, another for the power, and I will do this a and b. And here I'm going to write square root. Okay, I'll get the square root of a. So let's run it. Here we go. I'm going to write there 16 space 2. The first one is equal to 16 to the power of 2. So which means the 16 square will be equal to 256. Another one, the square root of 16, and so it's going to be equal to 4. After these warming exercises, let's do a real exercise. So we're gonna find the hypotenuse. Now we're gonna find the hypotenuse. This is the formula, as you know, c squared equals a squared plus b squared. And when we simplify this, so we can give the square root for each side, for left and right, and we will have this one in the end, c equals square root of a squared plus b squared. And when I apply this formula using Cmf Library, I will be able to find the hypotenuse. Let's do it now. Now I'm going to write here three variables. I will assign them as a float, a, b, c, and I will ask this from the user, a, b, and c. And after that I'm going to do this equation. So how do we do it? C equal, so firstly I'm going to do the square root. The square root squared, okay, and square root a squared plus b squared. So how do we do the square? With the pole. A is the base, a squared, so the power will be 2, plus I do the same thing for the b. And we shouldn't forget to put semicolon in the end. And now I would like to show you again, c equal square root a squared plus b squared. Let's look at the equation again. C equal square root a squared plus b squared. C equal square root a squared plus b squared, and let's see how does it work. By the way, we don't need c because we're gonna find c using the a and b, and after that we will ask from the program to display this one. Okay, it's going to display us what is c, and let's run it again. 6, 8 and 10. So I think you know what is the 6, 8 and 10. This is it's coming from the ratio of 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 3, 4, 5 triangles. Everyone knows this one. And you can also find other ones. Let's say 5. I think you know also this triangle, 5, 12, 13 triangle. Let's try a random number. 14, 6 and 14, 6, 15.2 triangle. Okay. I hope it was useful to understand the concept of these functions. Thank you for watching. See you in another tutorial.